Hey, welcome back. Where have I been? I've been kind of all over the place. You know, recently I went to Los Angeles to be with a buddy in his time of loss when his father passed. And I did get to do some riding around at Huntington Beach, and that was amazing. And then this last week, I was in Phoenix, Arizona because it was Mother's Day, and I haven't seen my parents in about a year and a half. But while I was there, I went to Gordy's Bike Shop in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to go see Kevin, the owner, but sadly, he wasn't there when I showed up. But I did get to walk around the bike shop. The bike shop's amazing. It's huge. You should go check it out if you're in the area. At the time I walked in, inventory was a little low. And according to an employee there, it's because there is some concern about shipping going on in the world right now. So they're expecting more bikes to come in. No big deal. It is one of the local BMX bike shops, but they have all kinds of stuff for you. From shoes to road bikes to BMX, check out Gordy's. It's really rad. It's been a while since I've been in there. Probably, I don't know, 2 years or so. Last time I was in there, it had a lot of vintage bikes. This time they were all gone. But it did have a newer Super Goose, which I believe is a 2022. And then it had a 1980 something Ross, which I checked out. And it was kind of awesome. And then it had a retro S&M bike up on a shelf, which is also pretty cool. But I don't have any connections to those bikes, so I didn't bring one home. But I did have a good time. I went there because I wanted to thank Kevin. Because I did buy a PK Ripper from Kevin a while back, and we started talking. And then he sent me this original Mark Echo hand-painted custom helmet. What an absolute treasure to the collection here at RADBMX Builds. It's got the Echo decals, visor, hand-painted scallops. I love this thing, and it's found a good home here at RADBMX Builds. Kevin, thank you for that. I appreciate it. What are we going to do in this episode? Well, like I said in the last one yesterday, that Ronald McDonald bike, the red and yellow PK Ripper, the Vans tribute bike, that's this one. I tore it apart like I said I would. I took it to powder coat, and I picked this up yesterday, Friday. Today's Saturday. This video should come out tomorrow on Sunday. So I'm just trying my hardest to keep these videos going for you. And in doing so, I didn't upload the bikes to the website yet. I'll be working on that this afternoon and tomorrow. So if you're looking to buy a bike at RADBMXBuilds.com, there are 2 on there at the time I'm filming this, and hopefully I'll have many more on there because I will finally be home and in the shop so I can pack them up and send them to you if you choose to buy one. Warning, someone just reached out, and there are fake accounts out there pretending to be me on Facebook and other social media. I don't sell bikes to anybody on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, only on the website. All those other people pretending to be me with my beautiful face and awesome logo, if you're falling for it, don't, because they're all fake. I do not sell bikes on any platform other than my website. Let's talk about this bike right here. Okay, you can see this is blue, not black. It's that dark, I don't know, early, mid-80s SE blue. And I used light blue decals, obviously, with a little bit of brown in them. And then I also did the chainring to match. Like I said, this was the Ronald McDonald bike, so it came with all these silver parts, which we're going to reuse on the bike. But I had to buy a bunch of black parts in order to get rid of the yellow. So brake cables, seat, chain, and of course, grips. So Amy grips, and then we're basically just going to put the bike back together. Also tires, I forgot about that, and we'll show you those in a moment. But we're going to start building out this bike so you can see this thing in this video. This will be a reveal video, and yes, this bike will be for sale. Okay, this should be a pretty straightforward build. It's basically a bike that was already put together. We took it apart just to powder coat it and decal it, so we're basically just going to take the parts and pieces that were already in here, already fitted in here, and just basically just slap them back together, which the majority of the time goes pretty easy. So I don't really anticipate any problems because all these parts already work. And we're not trying anything new. We're not putting anything really new on here that hasn't been here already. So when I take bikes apart, I keep all those parts together. Like the bearings are a good example. And I zip tied them all in the exact order that they came off. So if it is off at powder coat for a while, I remember exactly, I don't need to remember, I will know exactly what order they go in when you put them back on. So easy peasy, nice and simple. Everything just works like that. Drop it on. So I'm not expecting any problems, any concerns. I say that, and I probably just jinxed myself, but it should go smooth. This definitely isn't the first PK ripper I've taken apart and put back together. So again, not foreseeing any issues, but we never know. I think this bike's gonna look so rad when it's done. I know it doesn't look great on film because I'm looking at the camera right now. I'm just kind of like, oh, it looks kind of boring. And I think you're really gonna learn to appreciate how rad this bike is because they are awesome right out of the box. SE just didn't do a good job with colors. For the majority of the parts, they're pretty decent. They're not the greatest. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are not. So like I said, this stuff just basically slips right in there. We'll put it together. We'll mock it up first, sort it all out. Once it's, you know, on the ground and I can sit on it, I'll figure out where I want the bars, where I want the seat, so on and so forth. Make life a little easier. But what I do when I build bikes is you mock it all up. You just basically put it together on the table, on a stand, however you want to do it. I really don't care. It's up to you. It's preference. I do it on the table so you can see it. Is it easier on the table? Honestly, for me at this point, I've gotten used to it. So now I prefer it, but I started off doing it on the table just so you can see it on film because in a stand, it was hard to see. And I was getting a whole lot of questions like, hey, Sean, I can't see this, or how'd you do that, or what about this? But on the table, you can see the whole thing. What I'm doing now is taking a little bit of crystal bearing grease, putting it on the threads for the V-brake, because threading these in and out, especially after it's been to powder, not that there's any powder in there, but powder is a very high heat, and it will take pretty much anything that's remaining in the bike and burn it off. So any grease, glue, Loctite, any of that stuff is pretty much now gone. So a little bit of grease in there allows these threads to move a lot easier as you tighten them down, and they won't stick, bind, or any of that. So I always put a little bit on there. Not a ton, just a little bit on the threads, and that's it. I don't know what it is with bearing grease, but man, once I start putting it on, I seem to get it everywhere, which isn't the greatest. It's not ideal. So I'm gonna plug here, it's called Crystal. And this bearing grease is actually clear. So there's no color to it like green or any of that like Park Tool uses. And I've been using this stuff off and on for years and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite. If I can find it, I buy it. And I found it here in a local bike shop in Universal City, Texas. And I just happen to be out of it, but I think you can get it on Amazon is where I think I first found it. Honestly, I believe I have an Amazon link down below in the description that might even have it on there. So if you're interested in bearing grease or a few assorted tools and parts and stands, there's links down below in the description box on some of that stuff. I just put it there to help you out. I'm not trying to get rich off it. Heck, you don't need to use me to buy it, but it's down there for you, for your reference. Okay, V-brakes are on. The cool thing about this bike came with a front brake. My other red and yellow one did not. And someone said because the overseas bikes had front brakes. Is that true? Because this bike came from Planet BMX. And I know Florida can seem like a whole other country, but it's not. So I don't know if Planet BMX got one slated to go overseas and sold it to me. I have no clue. So comment down below. Did the overseas SEs get front brakes and the stateside ones didn't? I've never heard of that. If so, cool. Whatever. So man, look at, we're making progress already. We're down to just basically the powertrain and the wheels, running some brake cables already done. We've already had brake cables. I just had to peel the yellow outer off of them, and I keep them because now I have black, and I'm going to cut them to the exact same size as the yellow because everything's already pre-cut, already done, sized up, ready to go on these brakes. So just cut the black the same length as the yellow, piece of cake. Let's flip, and then we will do the powertrain, the cranks, and all that business. So when I took the cranks apart, I basically just kept everything intact. Here's the washer, it's already on there. Went right through, piece of cake, spacer, crank, and my bolt. Let me get the right size Allen wrench here. Should be that one. Should be. Bingo. All right. Should thread right in. Doing it from the other side of the bike so you can see, which isn't the easiest, but we'll get it there for you. You don't want to tighten down your cranks so much that they bind up. So you got to be a little careful, but they should have no wiggle in them whatsoever, but should spin freely. Yeah, I like that. Now, we're going to take this blue chain ring, and it will slip right over the pedal on this side and bolt right up to it. It is the chain ring that came on the bike. I just took it off, brought it to powder with my frame and forks because I wanted to carry that color through. So if you're going to powder coat a bike, think about other parts that are on that bike that may not be a color, but maybe you'll like them a color. It could be chain ring bolts. It could be the chain ring. It could be whatever. Powder coaters are usually pretty good at powder coating whatever it is you bring them. So have, you know, an idea, or if you don't know, ask your powder coater, like, hey, are you able to powder coat this? And if they do, man, you might be onto something. But a word of caution for you, if you will. Don't go crazy. There's some bikes out there, like every single part on the bike is powder coated another color, and it's too much. Some of you are just doing too much. Keep them clean, keep them simple. Keep them on the table. It's a preference, really. If you want it to be all that and it's your bike, you do what you want to do. When I see that, it's not my thing. Again, if it's your thing and that's what you want to do, cool. I'm just suggesting, if you're new to it, go fairly simple to begin with. Till you figure out what works, what doesn't, what's good color balance, what isn't. And to me, accents are important. Little details matter. You get a little crazy and cross the line into gaudiness, and it starts to look terrible. And there's a lot of people out there on Instagram, and mostly Instagram and some TikTok, that are building bikes where they're way too much. Starts to look like the Orange County choppers of bike builds, and you got every single thing powder coated and every color you can imagine, and just putting on themes, and you're doing too much, man. Let's just build some rad bikes and get them out there for people to enjoy, ride them, sell them, whatever you want to do with them. But man, if you want to put all that money into powder coating every little nut, every little thing, and put a, you know, Slimer on it, or a Superman on it, or a Pokemon on it, like whatever the hell that is, you do you. I'm just going to sit over here and make mine pretty simple with a throwback to the past. All right, let's check that out. Can't really set the back down because now it's got a sprocket on it, but that looks pretty sick. I like that. I like how it's the same color as the bike. I think that's pretty rad. Okay, I can already tell a million things need to be adjusted. Now what we're gonna do is get the wheels and tires. So pause for a minute while I go ahead and put some tubes and tires on those wheels. We'll bring them over here and we'll get them on this bike. Okay, we're back. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's hot. And when I say I'll be right back, it's because I'm gonna turn on the air conditioner here in the shop, and when it's on, it's too loud to record. So I turned on the AC, I mounted the tires, and I wanna show these to you. These are kind of like a Comp 2 knobby style tire. These are the original SE wheels, and I added a little acorn valve stem cap. So really cool wheel set. I love these, they're great. and they look really good on here. Like I said in another video, I just wish that SE did a more of a polished hoop wheel, if you will, because they're just kind of a flat silver. Other than that, it's a great wheel, sealed bearing, love it. Great. Big fan of it. High flange even. What's to complain about? Amazing. But you got to complain about something. I wish that they, actually I don't want that on there. I wish that they just done a polished lip on it. Would have been a lot better. My axle nut just went flying over here. Let me go ahead and grab that. Wow, that sucker went way over here. Okay. I drop stuff all the time. Usually I edit it out, but you know, you want to see that stuff? Here we are. So, not edited out. Let's put some washers on. Some nuts back on. I'm not going to put the fork safety retaining hook washer things. I don't even know what you call that crap. So I'm just going to leave it off. I'm not a fan of them, so to the trash pile it goes. No big deal. Front wheel's not going to fall off. All right. There she is, wheels, everything. And now it's time to flip the bike over and we can start doing the brake cables so I stop tripping over them. So let me grab a bike stand, flip the bike, turn on the AC for a minute, and then we'll get the rest of the stuff put on there. All right, we went ahead and laid out the yellow brake cables next to the black ones and cut them the same length. I don't think I needed to show you that. So I went ahead and did that. And now all you do is take the original cables. Make sure you put the end cap on first, then run your cable. Try not to fray the end. Like, that's the trickiest part of this, is be very careful not to fray the ends of your cable if you can when feeding it on there. There we go, that looks like a better end. Getting old, need my glasses. All right, give me a second. Need old man glasses now because, you know, I'm getting old. All right, I'm back. Let's get them on there. And let's try to feed this back through there. Oh, look at that. I can see. Amazing. My vision is absolutely amazing unless it's right in front of my face. Then it's not so great. So feeding it through. Pop out the other end there. Perfect. All right. Push that on. Give it a little crimp. A little more than that, I guess. All right. Just have to hold it on. We'll need one more piece to go over the end of this raw brake cable because this is going to feed into these welded on eyelets down here. Just like so. Like that. Oh, get in there. Boom. So now we'll have to grab the piece that goes from here to the rear brake, which I already have right here. So this one's, you only want a piece on one end because the other goes into the V-brake piece. So feed it back through, just like we did with the first one. You know, a lot of you make comments like, hey, why do you edit all this so we can't see what you're doing? Because there are times like this where it's just slow going. And for YouTube engagement, that's terrible. So I'm going to show you a trick. Usually when you cut these, it'll close the end up. And it's very hard to get the cable through. So get a tack, stick it in there to the open, and kind of like work it so now there's a hole there that you can get a cable through. So a lot of times when you cut these, especially if your cutters aren't super sharp, it'll kind of pinch that opening closed. And I find, because I have a bunch of them right here, tacks work really great. So I just stick a tack in there, and now the cable should go right through. A little trick for you. I'm sure there's better ways of doing it. There always is. Someone will make a comment. All you got to do is do this. Okay, cool. There we go. And it's in. Pushing brake cables through the housing is not the most exciting thing on YouTube. I get it. But building bikes isn't always glamorous and super fun. It's even more fun when you're not filming and just hanging out, blaring some 80s music and having a good time. And honestly, That happens a lot. You don't get to see all the bikes I build because some of them I just need the peace, the quiet, no lights, no camera, just working on a bike, hanging out, having a good time. And I'm sure a lot of you understand that. Because this cable's been used before, it's got a little bend where it was tightened down on. It's a little harder to push through. So working on it without trying to destroy it. We've made it this far. All right, that last cable got absolutely shredded, but I had a brand new one. So we got a brand new one on there, and we are now going to just button this up with a brand new one. Okay, got some brake shoes to adjust here. There we go. We're just gonna lightly cinch it down without destroying the brake cable for now. Just to hold it there until I get my brake shoes where I want them and get all that sorted out, which isn't very hard to do. Just line it up at the wheel, push the brake arm against it so it sits flat, cinch it up. Piece of cake on that side. Because I did move these to put them back on, make my life a little easier. Tighten it down. Okay. Now you want a little bit of play in there, but not too much. That might actually be pretty good. So now I'm pretty close to where I want it. I might back it off just a little bit. I don't mind a little bit of brake lever play. And let me start off by saying, anytime you buy a bike from me, from a bike shop, from anybody, completely have a mechanic go through it. If you're not a professional, if you don't trust yourself, the way I like my brakes might be different than the way you like your brakes. I don't care where I get my bikes from. Before I ride them, I do a complete nut and bolt check. Go over everything and make sure that I'm going to be safe before I tear down my driveway, a hill, or wherever I'm at. So find where you want the brake cable, give it a little extra, quick little cut, quick little cable end. Always put a cable end so you don't get that frayed brake cable. So you don't get the frayed brake cable. Geez, that one popped right out at me. It's been one of those days, man. I'm telling you, stuff flying all over the place. I didn't even share with you that I actually had one of the tubes when I put the wheels together go flat. So I had to scramble and find another tube, or else I was going to do a bike reveal with a flat tire. And be honest with you, I didn't want to do that. I was actually going to tear another bike apart to finish this bike. And that's a rule of thumb of mine. I do not do that. I don't use parts from other bikes to build bikes and move parts around from one bike to another. That's lame. Buy the parts you need, build the bike. Have a bunch of complete bikes and not a salvage yard full of borrowed parts off other builds. Just build the bike. Okay, all we got left to do is a chain and a front brake cable, but instead of showing you that, let's just go right to the reveal, get it outside in the sun, and show you this amazing Vans Tribute bike in blue and baby blue instead of red and yellow. And there you go, another 2021 Vans PK Ripper build. Undergone a pretty major transformation if you compare the red and yellow to the blue on blue. I really like this color. It's dark, it's subtle, but the bright blue really makes it pop. Comment down below, did you like this build? It was pretty straightforward, simple. The majority of people can do it. You just need a powder coater, decals, and a handful of parts. Okay, I want to show you something because you are not going to want to miss out, because look at that. That's right, a bubblegum pink GT build. That is one of the 25 that Craig Turner built for RADBMX, and they were limited to just 25 bikes. That's the 25th. I have the prototype, and then I have the last off the assembly line. For a full video on that bike, make sure you subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and as always, stay rad. Oh yeah, see you at Dirty Fest in June.